coach the Yankees is dead. Sorry.
Well, on that note, how about we get going tonight? I'm going to call a meeting to order, the Village of Mount Sterling Council meeting for May 8th, 2023. It is 7 p.m. Will you please do the honors?
David?
Here.
Bill?
Here.
Joyce?
Here.
Becky?
Here.
Ross?
Here.
Andy?
Here.
All's present.
All right.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Before we go to prayer tonight, I want to thank the people who turned out for the National Day of Prayer. Courtney, Becky was there, and Mitzi, and it was just good when you pray for your nation and know God's there. It's a good thing. I will go to prayer now. Lord, thank you for this beautiful day you provided for us. Be with our acting mayor, Andy, and be with our council, and be in the village tonight. And for your healing hand and touch, be with the law enforcement. And Lord, help the ones in need, and the ones that need your help the most. In Jesus' wonderful, wonderful name, amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. May I please have a motion to approve the meeting minutes from the council meeting held on April 24th,
Have that
please?
motion.
Thank you, David. Is there a second by any chance?
I'll second.
Thank you, Bill.
Roll call. David?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes. All right. We do not have a mayor's report this evening. However, a couple quick thoughts. The mayor will be spending time back in the office starting very, very shortly, I believe, as soon as this week. And she says that her recuperation is going very, very well. But as I mentioned last meeting, I would ask everyone to consider reaching out, giving her a few good wishes. It does help in everyone's recovery. I think we've all been there and done that, and it does make a huge difference as you get better. So we look forward to really having her back soon, and I know she would really like to hear from you all. As for me, in terms of pro tem report tonight, I'm super excited about the activity in the village in the last month and the things that we are getting done. You've heard us all talk about Community Cleanup Day and the huge, huge success. That's going to be probably mentioned here in a little bit. But also tonight, we're probably going to be talking about plans for water system maintenance and the work that we need to be doing to get us both preventative maintenance and forward-looking maintenance. And speaking of safety, it is really, really heartening to see that all of the fire hydrants in the system now are working. It's an enormous improvement over where we started out at the first of the year, and things are generally pointing in the right direction. With all those working, it lets our fire chief and the crew over at Tri-County do what they do best to keep us safe, and we're going to do our level best to make sure that they all stay this way going forward. Taking a step back for a little bit of perspective, so why is there so much going on right now? The answer is pretty simple. We're right now doing a lot of hard work, including maybe some difficult choices tonight, that position us for bigger and better things. Mount Sterling is rapidly regaining a reputation as a place where business is getting done and government is working. I can tell you that interest in our village is extremely high. As a side note, I understand that all of the lots and the houses in the new development at Deer Creek Run are sold. So we will be having more families here than ever before. Everyone is attracted by our ability to get things done, keep taxes where they need to be, frankly. And this is a great town, and word about all that is spreading. We answer the phone when many other villages and cities do not, and we stand up and we are accountable. We are growing, we're increasing, and we've left a lot of other villages in the dust, so that's awesome. To be crystal clear, Mount Sterling is also walking the walk and talking the talk. We've demonstrated now that the state oversight has left and that we can avoid the types of situations that got us into trouble to begin with. And more importantly, we're going to get the best deal from any opportunity that come our way. I will give kudos to where kudos are due. This council has shown a strong commitment to hunkering down and getting things done, and I appreciate it. You all have waded into many, many issues you didn't create, but you're now dealing with. So thank you for the hard work, and I invite everyone to reach out to all of them as well. So finally, I have a challenge for the residents. Please continue to be involved. This is our time to start shaping our village from here on out. This is a great summer, this is a great spring, great summer to keep things pointed in the right direction and get involved. This is literally happening all right now. We need your involvement, not only awesome community activities like Summer Jam, but also giving feedback on the plans that the village is putting together for growth and the development, which I'm sure is going to happen at some point. On a small note, you also have my pledge. We will continue to put meeting materials in the lobby when we can, so you can access them at any time, and that we will also be accountable and accessible both as a council and as administration to get issues solved. And on that note, thank you for the opportunity to have a few comments, and we'll get into reports here. We do not have an executive session, although I think we have one public speaker tonight. Come on down. David, would you give him, or you can use either one of those.
David, can you make sure that's in front of your mouth?
There we
I mean,
go.
just 'cause
Thank you.
I've had some complaints with people not here.
Would you state your name, sir?
Yeah, Matthew Mason.
All right.
And
Go
your
ahead.
address, please.
My address is 13685 State Route 56, Southeast Mount Sterling.
All right.
I just want to step up here real quick. I totally agree with what you said about our community growing. I do a lot of the work with Arbor Homes out there, and yeah, that is tremendous. I was out there a little bit ago, and you're right. I see all the young men and women, the new families moving in that development, and it's amazing. But while I'm up here is just real quick to talk about Mason Park. I see that's at the end of your agenda there. Obviously, just state the obvious, I'm a little biased. It's named after my grandfather. And so I take Mason Park very serious and personal because of who it's named after. I was out there for a community cleanup day. We did the weed eating of the ditches and a few other things. But one of the things I noticed is the fence has been removed, and I know they're talking about putting it back. I hope that's something you all consider here tonight. I think that's a needed thing. I think it just helps make the park look a whole lot better. And like you said, I know our community is growing, and I think that's one of the focal points, hopefully, of our community is the park. And I know you guys have done a lot already, but I hope this is something y'all just consider. And if we can help in any way, we're more than willing. So
Thank you for your comments.
time.
I appreciate
Yep.
it. Thank you. All right, we do not have an executive session tonight, so do we want to go on to department reports?
Jack is absent today.
Okay. I don't believe we have a law director's report. It's his week off. Utilities clerk, also her week, so next time, right?
Yes.
Village administrator, sir, would you like to come on down?
On down.
Please speak into the mic.
Thank you, Courtney. Council, appreciate you allowing me to speak tonight. Got just a couple of things I wanted to bring you up to date on. The site for the new water tower, the proposed site, is looking very good. We got it cleaned up and did some work over at the old water plant as well. So both projects are going better than I thought they would, to tell you the truth. So I was just over at the new water plant before these meetings took place tonight, and they were still working and it was raining. So they hope to wrap that up real soon. You've seen some trucks running through town, some dump trucks. Both those projects rely on those dump trucks to get dirt from one place to another. So we thank them for doing that. Also, we're going to be getting back on pothole repair this week. The guys will be out towards the end of the week. Hopefully, to date, we have 41 potholes repaired, and we hope to double that by the end of the week if everything goes right. Also, you'll see the firefighters are out flushing their hydrants. That ties into another project we got going. As Andy said, we have many projects going on right now, and kudos to the guys because they're going a mile a minute all day long. So keep an eye out for them and watch your speed and your traffic down through these roads because there will be guys out there doing things. We also have another project going on. This is in regard to the Rural Community Assistance Partnership. The RCAP is what they're called. And we have a survey that are available out front here when you go pay the water bill with Misty. She'll tell you where they're at. You can pick one up there, or else you can go to our website and get the survey. This survey will provide critical information to help protect your family and neighbors and help the village future replacement projects. Lead pipes is what they're talking about here. So we want to identify each and every line going into everybody's house to make sure it's not lead. And if it is lead, then we'll talk to you about what we need to do at that point. So lead has been proven to be very harmful in the long run to a lot of families. So it's important to the entire community that we get rid of these lead lines coming into our homes. So it only takes a few minutes to get this filled out. There's one page you fill out, tells you your name and your address and such. And then there's a step-by-step procedure on how to check the line that's coming into your house. So if you will, it's very important that we do this. So take time. It's not going to take you more than less than a half hour probably to do the whole procedure. And if you need any help, you call down here, Misty will let us know, and we'll come over and help you with the procedure.
Hey, Tom, do you think it's more homes pre-1950, though, would have lead lines? Because back then, they really,
Yeah,
cleaned up. That's why I was wondering.
But in the meantime, maybe you've had some work done out front, so you've had a new line installed. So even though you have a new home, you may not have an old line. So.
Right.
But we're always willing to come over to the house and help you with your checkout if you're having problems with this survey. If there are any other questions,
When are those surveys going to be distributed to the
they're
community?
not going to be.
Oh,
They're out front here.
Okay.
And they are on our website,
okay.
and I'm sure she'll get it on Facebook as well.
But everyone should just pick one up and take it home and do it.
Yeah, and when the surveys come back to us, we'll mark them off, and if we find that somebody hasn't filled it out, we'll reach out to them and ask them why, and is there a problem, can we help you?
Yeah, and I think something you just mentioned is really important to emphasize. If you know you've replaced your line,
Yeah.
please return the survey, because
Oh,
that
yeah.
way we can just get you off the list, like right now.
Exactly,
So I've
Makes it
replaced my
easy.
line when I moved in a long time ago, because I knew that the line was all ganked up with stuff inside of it. So I can check mine off the list. Like our new friends at Deer Creek Run, they just built their house. So
Exactly.
if you know you've built your house within the last, let's say, 25 years, just return the survey, check you off the list. That's it. That's all you gotta do.
Exactly. Any
I
other
remember we
questions?
used to have the water bottles, and Courtney used to drop them off, and we would have the
We're still
water.
doing those.
Yeah, we still do that one, too.
Testing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And those people will be reaching out to help them out on this.
Questions?
Thank you very
Anything
much.
else?
Thanks, Tom.
Anything else for Tom? All right. Thank you, Tom. Let's see here. Building and zoning, I don't believe we have a report tonight from Christie or Tom. That leads right to you.
Okay, I didn't get
Fiscal officer.
any comments, questions, concerns from council at all within your packets. In front of you, you do have the April reports, payment listings, and your appropriations is what we usually try to focus on, making sure the spending is under control and making sure that the revenues are coming in and being posted correctly. We do have a bank reconciliation for April that will be circulating around. Again, no adjustments were made at all to it. Every penny has been accounted for. So if I don't have any questions on that, I do also have something that's off subject that the water department wanted me to share. It's really, if anybody hasn't heard of it, it's Life Care Alliance is a resource for everybody in this community to take advantage of. And they are needing some volunteers for the Meals on Wheels. So as you know, or you maybe have some of your neighbors that have Meals on Wheels that you've seen. Just a really great group. I know that me and the mayor went down last year to award one of the volunteers that had been doing Meals on Wheels for, I think, 50 years. And it's really a great program, a really good program for a lot of people that have been volunteers that go into the homes because they can notice other things that may be of a concern. So you actually have somebody that's, going to go to those homes and actually take care of, either, middle-aged people, young people, older people. So it is really important that you guys do, if you do have time to volunteer, I do know that the churches around here, they do have a lot of people that do sign up for this. So it starts at like a, you know, they'll contact you, and it's, yeah, I think it's a great program to be a part of if you can volunteer. But if you would like to sign up or want to get more information on this, you can call their offices at 614-278-3130, or you can go on lifecarealliance.org. And I do have some of these packets that I'll put out here if you guys just want to pick them up and talk about and see when you are available. I'm sure they would really like some help around there.
It's a great organization.
It is.
It supports so many people in our community.
So if I don't have any questions from council, I will ask for a motion to approve the appropriation status reports, the revenue status report, the receipt listing report, the payment listing report, the comparison of budget and appropriated report, the cash summary by fund report, the RETA report, as well as the bank reconciliation report for April of 2023.
You have that motion?
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Bill.
That was Bill and Joyce. Okay, roll call. Bill?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Okay, if, 3 pieces of documentation for your signatures.
Either way. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. We had, let's see, moving on to committee reports. First up is finance. We had a finance committee meeting on May the 3rd where we got into reviewing how our budget was going. As we kind of led everyone to believe money is starting to tick up and go out the door because of warm weather, and we're starting to tackle projects. We did then a quick summary of what those outstanding projects were and approximately when they probably were going to hit. We need to understand, is it going to hit tomorrow or sometime later in the year? And then we talked a little bit about financing for our water tower and other water, candidly, the water related efforts, which we're going to talk about here in just a little bit in pending legislation. And on that note, we did basically schedule a finance work session also for the whole of the council for May 5th at 10 a.m. And that was a very productive work session, I thought. Obviously, you all have your thoughts as well, where we talked a little bit about those outstanding projects and the need to reallocate funds from the general fund. The projects which we discussed for that particular, the main reason why we were meeting that day was the meter replacement, valve repairs, which is in the distribution system, bulk meter installation, fire hydrants, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, and then existing our old water tower, getting it in a place where it can last for at least the duration of construction, and if not longer. So we need to do some work on it as well. So out of that came some legislation, a recommendation and legislation which you all have before you tonight, which is in the amount of, I believe, $111,000 to be transferred from the general fund. That's a pretty big hit, and that is money that we will have to be very careful about putting back. So we don't, a lot of times the money goes into the general fund that is one time, so we don't necessarily get it all back, so we should be very, very thoughtful about how we take money from the general fund. These are not things which we will be grant eligible for. So all the money which we're asking to be taken out of the general fund tonight, people should know, residents should know, yeah, there's no grant to cover this, and that's kind of a problem, and that's why we're having to swallow hard and make some difficult decisions. So you also might ask, what about the initial $100,000 that we committed about 16 months ago to water system distribution repairs and other maintenance that was necessary? That is gone. We have spent it. We spent every last dime, and the system is frankly better for it. So if you look at the progress that we've made over the last 16 months in both maintenance and preventative maintenance going forward, that not only our residents expect, but others like the EPA need us to have, we're in a world of a different place than we were when we started then. And unfortunately, that took a lot of money, and there's just no two bits about it. So we'll be talking about that a little bit later as well in the legislation. And on that note, our next meeting for finance will be Wednesday, June 7th at 2:30 in the afternoon. All right, Pleasant Township, David.
Yes, we met last week, getting ready for the weed season. They're getting the blades ready and trimming.
The 7th.
And also on some of the roads, there may be some gravel they'll be doing, and also There was a discussion, they're still up there about wanting to buy a new truck or not. It seems like one time they want the truck, one time they discussed it out, and they paid some bills. And that's about everything was covered.
All right. Oh, it's productive. All right. Squad, Joyce.
Squad will meet Wednesday evening, so I don't have an update from our
Okay.
last meeting.
No problem. I think Ross is going to be in the same shape, or maybe not, but you're up on the fire.
The next fire meeting is Thursday, May 25th. I don't really have anything.
Okay. No problem. Water, wastewater. Joyce.
We met on the 3rd, and most of the things we went over, I think you've addressed some, the meters. I would like to say kudos to the village employees, George and Joseph, and Tom as well, and the powers that be that got some more meters installed, 4 more meters. That being said, we have 16, I believe, left to pursue. And I did discover that half of those are because residents won't let us in to install the new meter, and the other half the village is responsible for doing. So we're addressing that. It's an ongoing issue. We are addressing that. I'm not going to go into detail until we get some more things in legislation for that. We'll just leave it there. So with the water, the site prep, as Andy said, is going very well, or as Tom said, is going very well. The bulk water meter, hopefully with this, if the appropriation of funds, or the reappropriation of funds, I'm not sure which, if that is passed, then we'll have the money to move forward with the bulk meter to get the done. We have an uptick in bulk water sales. It's my understanding that we've had some of the surrounding municipalities are not offering bulk water anymore. So it's a good opportunity for Mount Sterling to assist these companies that still need good pristine water. The next meeting for water is going to be held on water is June 14th. That's all I have.
Okay. All right. Streets, Becky.
Yep, we just had a meeting at 6 o'clock today. And as Tom mentioned, they're tackling the potholes, going to attack a lot more this week. Other things we talked about were street sweeping. We are going to have to consider reappropriating money to get a street sweeping done this year. We had some money set aside, and unfortunately, through some breakdowns of different vehicles that we've had, it's eaten up a lot of that money. So we're going to look at still trying to get the street swept. I know we've had several people comment, and the streets do need swept. So we are going to see what we can do with that. And also, we talked about curb painting and getting some more stripes on the downtown area, the business area. That is all going to come probably late June, because our crew that we have now is going to be working on some water issues most of May and early June. And then also we addressed some fading and missing signs. Hopefully really soon, Tom did an inventory of all of our street signs and have located several of the signs that we need for a couple of streets specifically where there should be no parking on that side of the street, and we have found those signs. So hopefully we can get those put up, and it will cause better traffic flow for people. So we are working really hard, but as Tom stated, small crew, and they have a lot of projects. Our next meeting will be the second Monday of June, which I didn't look up that date,
Be
sorry.
the 12th.
June 12th at 6 o'clock.
I would only have one comment, which is to say that we take feedback from our colleagues at Tri-County Fire and EMS very, very, very carefully, and we listen to what they have to say in terms of accessibility for streets. So to Becky's point around parking on both sides of the street, and you cannot get a fire or EMS vehicle down there, that is a serious problem. So we will address that, and if there's a situation where we need to step in, we will do that. Thank you. All right, Parks and Recs, you're up next.
Okay. We also had a meeting tonight. We talked about our big event coming up for Summer Jam. Summer Jam is the 15th, 16th, and 17th. And the Parks and Rec Committee always sponsors a fun event for all the children of the community and anyone that comes to the event. This year we'll be featuring a water safety, boat fishing safety, and hopefully have some, we're hoping, free life jackets for everybody that comes. We're trying to make it a fun event, and there might be some big giveaways of kayaks even involved. So we're super excited about that event. And then, of course, on the agenda that we will be, and thank you, Matt, for coming tonight. My passion is Mason Park. I love the whole community, but one of the main reasons I've committed myself to council is because my love for the park, and I fully believe that we have a showcase of a park that will only continue to get better and better. It will be the reason young families with children will move to our community. It will be the reason. And I think, I hope tonight's legislation, a very small contribution from council is being requested. The park is not funded through council. We are mainly funded through fundraisers and donations, and we are very grateful for all of those people that have donated their time and money to help us with the park, and through grants. So I hope tonight to replace that fence, council gives it the consideration it deserves to get that fence replaced for the beautification and safety of the park. And so our next meeting will also be June 14th, or June 12th. I said that wrong. June 12th at 5 o'clock. And just a quick update, the Youth League is in full swing out there. They had their opening day just a couple of weeks ago, and I was there, and it was a great event. And there are ball games almost every night out there, and our parks are in such immaculate condition. The fields are in good as condition as Berliner parks. So those ball games can be played almost all the time because we have the fields up to that condition, and I'm really grateful that they're like that. Having myself lived in this town when I was a youngster, and then having my children and my grandchildren all play ball out, at different locations here in town. It's really nice that we have these fields, and then they're in the conditions they were. We used to be up to our knees in mud trying to save a field before they had brick dust and they had the maintenance that they have now. And so I'm really grateful. And those of you that have kids or grandkids that play out there, and if you do not, please try to get out there and watch some ball games. And appreciate all the people that have sponsored out there, their banners hanging everywhere, and appreciate the beauty of our park. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Nuisance in the basement, abatement
The
choice.
basement, nuisance in the basement.
That too.
Good thing I don't have a basement, because it'd probably be a nuisance.
Nuisance and abate in the basement. How about
Especially
that?
You're not gonna do record retention.
Oh, I'm sorry, records retention, excuse me. Yes, actually, we had a meeting last Friday, pardon me on that one. We had a meeting last Friday, and well attended, best attendance we've ever had, so keep on coming out. If you're interested, come on down. 8 a.m. on the next one will be exactly 1 month from the first Friday of the month, which should be June the 9th. Is it not June the 9th at 8 a.m.?
The first Friday,
First Friday?
June 2nd?
Oh, I'm sorry, that would be the week before. Thank you, June 2nd. Main committee meetings are the following week, excuse me. Right, Courtney?
Yep, that's correct. Not gonna stop you.
All right, now we can do nuisance in a basement. How about that?
Nuisance and abatement. First of all, I would like to give a special shout out to all of the village people that turned out for the Friday pickups. I would like to especially thank Jeff Procyse, Stacy Procyse, and Phil Starr, Pastor Phil Starr of the Nazarene Church here in town for all of their efforts. A rundown on numbers. We gave them 20 residences that needed pickups, maybe 18, and then 2 that needed yard work or some kind of cleanup done. They ended up with over 50. So great job, guys. I mean, that's such a blessing to our community for all of the hard work that you guys poured into this. And I can't say enough wonderful things about working with Jeff and Stacy and Pastor Phil. Couple of cards that we've received. I didn't bring the one, but we did get a thank you card from the Nazarene Church and Jeff and Stacy in regards to being so easy to work with and helping them with all of the planning for the weekend. And you guys know what all we did. We've been talking about it for months. Another card, very touching, from Linda and Jeff Bills. To all of you who did so much hard work on our property and gave of your time, we appreciate you very much, Linda and Jeff Bills. This means a lot. This should hang somewhere. I'll leave it here for you. That's just one of the properties that we were able to get into and cut some things down. I mean, we have people in town that just cannot maintain their property, and we want to make sure that we give them every opportunity to have the village help them. And we, as a council, could not do it without the Nazarene Church. So I really like the partnership that we have built with them on our spring cleanup and what they call their On Mission Go Mount Sterling. So moving forward with nuisance and abatement, they funny story, they ended up power washing and planting flowers at a home, and then after it was done, they realized they had done the wrong home.
Oh.
But that's okay. There's a silver lining. There's a silver lining.
made that mistake at my
The
house.
home that
Wow.
they did get to the right one, and it was done. But the silver lining in that is that this family wrote a check and donated to the youth group of the Nazarene Church,
Oh.
which was very kind of them, and also were interested in their children going to some of the church-sponsored events. So, there's always a hidden message in things, even
is.
when we think that we've done something wrong. We haven't done anything wrong. There's a plan, and there's a method behind the madness that we all endure. I don't have a whole lot with nuisance. I took a couple of days off to just rest my mind, and this week I'll be looking at some of the things that we've made headway on. I do know I've had some complaints. We have a couple more yards that are getting a little overgrown, a couple of them that have been remedied, but it's just kind of a cycle that's going to continue. But I assure the village we will stay on top of it. Please don't hesitate to call any questions, thoughts, concerns that we can do as far as the nuisance goes to make our village prettier, if you will. Just call Village Town Hall. You know how to get a hold of me. Just let us know. It is our wish to make sure that as many residents as we can, and I can't say it enough, take part in ownership pride. I know there's going to be a yard contest coming up, sponsored, I believe, by the chamber. So, hey, I would like to see a lot of people entered into that. That speaks volumes for the village that we live in. I am done.
All right, thank you very much, and also my appreciation to the Nazarene Church as well. Frankly, it's gotten bigger and bigger every year. It started out as just, one trailer going around town and, chucking stuff into the town hall, either dumpster or down at the service garage, and it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger every year.
I have one more comment.
Oh, sure.
I want to thank Matt Mason and for donating 2 dumpsters, and Scott McClellan for also donating 2 dumpsters. We appreciate you guys very much for your continued support of this weekend that we have every year.
Yeah, they are awesome. All right. Safety block watch, Bill.
We had canceled a meeting for last week and rescheduled it for tomorrow at 6 p.m.
All right,
So
be
I've
there,
got
be square.
nothing.
I think you should all be there. All right. Planning, we have not met yet either. Our planning meeting will, and zoning for that matter, if there's any variances to hear, will be on May 23rd at 6 p.m. Zoning, did you want to speak to any on zoning?
Nothing on zoning.
Okay. And then tree beautification.
Oh, tree and beautification. We have a meeting Thursday, 1 o'clock here. And we completed our Arbor Day event, which I think I updated you last week. It was a great event. And we have, I think I mentioned this also, we've gotten 1 sponsor for at the park to plant another tree. So we will have another tree dedication going on out there very soon, so we're
You know what
excited
kind of
about
tree?
that. We do not know what kind of tree yet, do
Okay.
we? Probably will be determined Thursday.
Okay.
It will be something different from the 2 we just planted. But we have a list of good trees and not so good trees.
Right,
So we will be addressing that Thursday. And we are well on our way. We've already met some of the requirements for enough meetings to become a tree city, and we've attended a really good banquet and training a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, it's not just the tree committee, it's tree and beautification. So now we're going to swing our focus around to some more beautification too, and we're considering, we haven't committed to it yet, but I hope to talk about it Thursday, possibly a leaf collecting program for the community where we can turn all of that into compost and something like that, trying to do some more things for the community like that. So yeah, come if you want to come be a part of things, come out Thursday at 1 o'clock.
Becky, I like the picture in the Madison Messenger of the little kids when they was putting that moss all around there.
Yeah.
You could tell he's really enjoying
Yeah.
himself.
It was a
That
good day. It was a
They-
really good day.
They had a good time.
Yeah, they certainly did. Okay, no other committee reports, so we'll move on to ordinances and resolutions.
Okay, I have 2. The first is ordinance 2023-04, an ordinance amending the 2023 budget to transfer $111,000 from the general fund to the water fund for necessary water projects for repairs, replacements, and the costs of, and this is declaring as an emergency.
May I have a motion to suspend the rules so we can do this on emergency, please?
And that motion?
Is there a second?
David, Ross?
Okay.
Roll call, Joyce,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Now may I have a motion to place this on the first, second, and third readings, please?
You have that motion?
Thank you, Joyce.
I'll second.
Thank you, David.
Joyce, David, Becky,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
And now may I have a motion for passage of ordinance 2023-04? Bill? Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, David.
Bill, David. Roll call is Ross,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2023-04 is passed.
All right, ordinance 2023-05.
Okay, which is an ordinance amending the 2023 budget to transfer $12,300 from the general fund to the Parks and Recreational Fund for the replacement of the fence at Mason Park and declaring this as an emergency.
Okay, may I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Becky, Bill, Andy,
Yes.
David,
No.
Bill?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Ross?
No.
Can you have a number, please?
Yes, the numbers of yeses are 4 and the noes are 2.
All right. Motion to place this on the first, second, and third readings.
I'll make the motion.
Bill?
Second?
Becky? Roll call. David?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes. May I have a motion for passage then?
Motion.
Becky?
I'll second.
Bill? Bill?
Yes, I'll second.
Joyce?
No.
Becky?
Yes.
Ross?
No.
Andy?
No.
David?
No.
Ordinance 2023-05 has failed.
All right. That is all the pending legislation that we have tonight. We're on to roundtable.
Oh, the only thing I want to announce is about the church. They're hardworking and the mission for Jesus. And like I said, it's you go out there and you meet new people, and sometimes you can even make a mistake and still be helping the Lord. And so I just want that. And I got about the American Legion. We'll be preparing for Memorial Day. We'll be having our services on the Memorial Day, so that's all being prepared too.
Wonderful. Excellent to hear. Other comments? Roundtable.
I know the downtown businesses this weekend. Unfortunately, I don't have my own downtown business anymore, but I am part of one of the ones participating. There's a little sidewalk sale going on Saturday for Mother's Day, and I believe 4 of the shops are participating. So if you want to get out and take advantage of some good sales and buy something for yourself or someone else, it'd be a good opportunity. And as always, support your local businesses. And I also want to I'm gonna pass for a minute.
I want to also reiterate, I stopped in the new one, I think it's the Cottage.
Crossroads.
Mick and I stopped into that little store downtown after church on Sunday. It was lovely. Picked out a couple of items, met one of the co-owners, and would definitely be going back there. It was a lovely
All the
shop.
storefronts downtown look fantastic.
Yeah, they do.
And the folks who've moved in have done an awesome job transforming what was, kind of a little bit
Run down.
drab, a little bit corner, and it just looks amazing. It looks pretty darn awesome.
It's fun.
It is.
It's
It
fun.
is.
I do have something else to say. The Chamber of Commerce will be meeting this Thursday evening at 5, and we're full swing planning for Summer Jam and our 4th of July parade. And if anyone wants to come out and volunteer to help, plan those events or get involved, or give us some better ideas on traffic flow even, for instance, we would be grateful for that. And also, Joyce touched on the Chamber of Commerce is sponsoring a Beautiful Yard contest, and that will be awarded on June the 15th, the first day of Summer Jam. So you have, I believe, until the Friday, I think it's like the 9th, to nominate yourself or others. And the way we're taking nominations only is through contacting Courtney, either by email or phone or text, and then she will compile a list. But you can nominate yourself or 25 other houses in town. And I just want to make a point and remind everybody, Joyce touched on this, a big part of the nuisance and abatement reason we have that committee is to make the village prettier and nicer for people to live in. And she also cited ownership and pride, and I would hope at some point you apply that same grace to our park. It's for beautification, makes the village prettier, and you have ownership and pride. And I hope that council would someday consider applying the same philosophy to our park.
Other comments?
Oh, Becky, on the 4th of July parade, is that gonna be a morning parade or an afternoon?
It'll be a 10 a.m. parade on the 4th of July.
Okay. Comments? Other comments? Roundtable? All right, well, in that case, we have all our business finished for the night, and we are adjourned. Thank you.